We'll traverse an underground pressure cooker in Fractal 9 Molten Furnace. Right at the start, there's a mistlock singularity you can grab, then just talk to our friends Rox and Bram. We'll need to fight off a quick ambush, then Rox can start up the giant drill. Proceed down the tunnel, but if you happen to be right behind the drill, don't get too close as it will burn you. It will also occasionally cause rocks to fall, so dodge out of the AoE rings if you find yourself in one. Otherwise, you'll just get knocked down. As you travel down the tunnel, you'll see 5 small rooms branching off the main path. Enter each room, take out the small group of enemies, then destroy the blocked vent in order to progress further. The enemies differ in each of these rooms, but the process is the same either way. Just repeat until you make it through the tunnel, and at the end you'll face another small ambush. Clear the enemies here, then continue up ahead to the steam wall. Rox will burn herself here to show that you can't pass. Just wait a moment for the steam to dissipate. If you're fast, you can make it through all of them at once, but otherwise, slow and steady as usual. If you run into the steam, it will knock you back and do a good amount of damage, so nobody will fault you for taking your time if you need. Finally, you'll enter a large area with the boss arena slightly up ahead. A lot of people will kind of jump down the rocks here to pick up the singularity a little quicker than walking all the way around, but if platforming doesn't tend to agree with you, you can take the long route too. Pass through the gates to enter the boss arena, and the fight will start once Rox and Bram enter. He'll monologue a bit, as dumb villains tend to do, and then the fight will begin. A sentinel suit will spawn, and it will fixate on one of the team members. Remember fixate? We saw it in our last Fractal too. If you get the purple marker above your head, the boss is following you. It's a good idea to lure him out of the AoE ring so you can safely attack him. Then, 4 shamans will spawn, one in each corner. The core in the center of the room will also become vulnerable and start blasting out fire from one side at a time. You'll progress the fight by damaging the core, but it's a good idea to clear the shamans first, or at least cleave them alongside the core, especially if your group isn't super on top of DPS or heals, because you'll need to survive the weapons test happening in the arena during the fight. There are 3 weapons tests that will happen in phases. First, each corner of the room will have a large weight that drops down and sends out a shockwave, which you can jump over or dodge through. Second, each wall will spawn a series of fire tornadoes, which will briefly telegraph at the originating wall before blasting across the map. Keep your field of view wide and pay attention to which wall they're spawning at so you can safely position yourself between 2 of the oncoming tornadoes. And third, a large portion of the arena will face a barrage of fireballs just like at the start. Just run or dodge out of them. As you continue to damage the core, you'll face each of these weapons tests one at a time, then all 3 of them at once during the final phase. Just a side note, I don't think most people need to worry about remembering what each phase is and how they work, but just being familiar with them is enough so that you'll know what you're doing when you're facing it when it happens. That's kind of the spirit of the series anyway. After destroying the core, the weapons test engineer himself will enter the arena. He shoots fire tornadoes and creates shockwaves, so just watch him during the fight so you can avoid his attacks when needed. Every 25%, he'll go invulnerable, then burrow under the arena and come back out at one of the 4 sides, including the same spot he was in sometimes. Once the boss has been defeated, a door in the perimeter will open up so you can grab your chest. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider leaving a like or even subscribing. And be sure to check out the rest of the series for more fiery Fractal guides.